Here we are yet again. I'm at the pool. First time in a long time. About 6 months, it seems like. Man, I don't know. At least since my son was born. But I'm finally getting back to it. Trying to get back to my normal routine as it was. I've got an appointment here in a few minutes I've got to make. I'm going to collect some money here in a minute. Yeah, we'll go to the appointment first, and then we'll collect money afterwards. I think that would be better. If this old man get out of my way. Oh, man. Riding his bicycle down the street. Yeah, okay, old man. We've got time to run by this house and collect money. But I wanted to talk real quick about finding meaning in your life. Some people don't understand, like, why do you cut grass for a living? I've heard people say this. Why do you mow lawns? What's the advantage in this? What's the end game here? Like, why do you do this? And I mean, the money's pretty good, pretty decent. It's not like you're gonna be rich doing this. You're not gonna be like a billionaire or whatever. You're not gonna be. There's maybe a few millionaires, but not many, that do lawn care. But really, the reason you do this seems like is because you enjoy it. And I genuinely enjoy cutting grass. That's what I love to do. There's a lot of things that I know how to do, in the trades, whether it's, electrical work or drywall work or plumbing work or just general things that I know how to do. But just because I know how to do something doesn't mean I enjoy doing it. It's even the same with landscaping. There's a lot of aspects of landscaping that I can't stand. Like, I know some things about irrigation, but I hate irrigation. I would prefer someone else mess with that. I prefer to just cut grass and trim shrubs and just do maintenance items. And that's where I find my meaning. And some people find their meaning in doing the projects. They hate doing the maintenance. I know a lot of guys who love doing landscape projects and landscape jobs, and they hate the maintenance. The maintenance side, as far as they're concerned, they don't ever want to pick up a weed eater or pick up a mower ever again. And everybody's different, and some people find their meaning in that, and some people find their meaning in this, and some people find their purpose in something completely, not relating to this altogether. Some people would rather, work an office job and sit on the computer, and some people would rather do, technical work, and solve problems with software and all of that, and that's fine. I mean, everybody's different. But, you have to find your meaning in life and find your purpose and find out, for lack of a better phrase, find out what you want to do with your life. The reason I'm kind of laughing about that is because that was something my father used to say to me all the time when I was younger, when I was in high school. He would say, well, son, you have to figure out what you want to do with your life, or you're going to become a loser. And, and he would get on these tirades and go, and he had a lot to say about it, but he didn't have a lot of, like, solid advice in terms of this is how you do it, this is what you do. It was just basically pontifications on if you don't do this, you're going to not succeed and this and that. And as a young man in my 20s and in my teens, and even into my early 20s, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to, a college and a university and then go, get a master's degree and all this thing. I didn't know if I wanted to go into some, like, technical field. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Oh, 1 second. I have to stop and collect money. So hold on a minute. We will continue this shortly. Oh, put it in park first. Oops. It's been a long day. Oh. save me a trip later. But anyway, like I was saying, what was I talking about? Finding meaning. That's right, finding meaning in life. So, took me a while to find my purpose. It took me a while to find out where exactly I wanted to be, what exactly I wanted to do. And I started working lawn care, as you can see some of my earlier videos where I talk about my story. I started cutting grass pretty early on, you know. The first time I ever used a lawnmower, I was 10 years old. 9 or 10 years old, something like that. But the writing was on the wall, you know, even from an earlier age. I was riding on the lawn, I was sitting on the lawn tractors at Sears, you know, trying to telling dad, he tells this story, telling dad, hey, you need to get one of these lawn tractors. And he'd say, our yard's not big enough, you know, and I wanted one of those lawn tractors. And eventually I had one, and two, and three, and a lot, you know. But it took me a while to find that place where I found meaning in life. And I kind of dabbled around, you know, and I thought, well, I'll do such career. I've worked a couple of jobs. I've, you know, done some construction and some handyman stuff. Enough of that to know that I don't want to do that. But where I find my purpose and where I find my meaning is cutting grass. Something about the lines, like when you're cutting back and forth with that mower, you know, and you're taking the trimmer and making your symmetrical edge lines and your trim lines. Something about it just soothes me, I guess. Something about it just makes me, it's where I find my zen, to coin a phrase. It's where when I do that, I feel complete, you know, and that's kind of a weird way to put it, but that's ultimately the reason that I do lawn care. It's not really entirely because of the money, which if you know your numbers and you charge appropriately, you know, you can make pretty decent money doing this. But, you know, I could charge a lot of money and hate what I'm doing and cut grass and make a lot of money doing it, but hate what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, even if I had a lot of money, I'd still be miserable. But I'm not miserable. I love what I do. I enjoy this kind of work. I enjoy getting out every day and making lawns look good, cutting grass, making people's properties look better than they did when I showed up. That is what drives me. That's why I do what I do. Something funny I heard years ago, a long time ago. I went to when I was in high school, I went to a private school for a couple of years. And I wouldn't say it was like the most richest high-end type of private school in existence. It was a pretty high-end school. There was a lot of rich people there. And I had a math teacher. I think it was freshman year. I think it was ninth grade. So my freshman year, we had a math teacher for half of that semester. His name was Ralston. His last name was Ralston. Keith Ralston, that's right. Mr. Ralston. Mr. Ralston, if you're watching this, on some odd coincidence, you know, if you're watching this, just know that you had an impact on my life with just this one moment in class. Anyway, one of the, I can't remember how we got on this topic, but you know, it was a math class, but for some reason we were talking about employment or, you know, jobs and something like that. And one of the students, one of my classmates tried to, I guess, kind of get one over on Mr. Ralston a little bit. He asked Mr. Ralston in kind of the way he was asking it was kind of like almost like a demeaning way. It seemed a little bit like, hey, if your daughter, the question he asked him was, hey, if your daughter came to you when she was older and said, I just want to work at McDonald's and flip burgers for the rest of my life, what would you say? Would you be disappointed with her? You know, and kind of the idea was expecting him to come back with, like, yeah, I would want her to have a, you know, rich, luxurious, high-end job, something like that, something like this, you know, because after all, it was a fairly middle of the road to high-end school, you know, a lot of people had money there. Well, Mr. Ralston looked at him and thought for a second. He said, no, what I would tell my daughter is if she came to me and said, I want to be a hamburger flipper, I would tell her, you be the best hamburger flipper the world has ever seen. You dedicate your entire being, if that's truly what you want to do, and that's where you find meaning and that's where you find purpose, you dedicate yourself to that job. You be the best you can be in that occupation. You be the best hamburger flipper you can be. Always give your best 100%. Do what you love doing. If you love doing that and that's truly what you love doing, then you pursue it with all your heart. That is what I would tell my daughter. And, you know, 15-year-old me was kind of like, okay, you know, didn't really think much of it. But looking back on that now, that was kind of a profound thing to say. Because how many of us, when we were in high school or whatever, thought, oh, I'm going to be a programmer, or I'm going to be this and that, I'm going to make all this money, such and such. Nobody really, at least not as many people as you'd think, knew what they were going to do back then. Some people may, but a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people knew what they were going to do back then. I certainly didn't. I didn't know I was going to be, you know, cutting grass for a living, working for myself. Working for yourself it's great, but sometimes it's tough, and there are highs and lows that come with it. And, you know, as a kid, as a high school student, you know, I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. I kind of had an idea in college, but that's a story for another day. Here I am, about 5 minutes away from my chiropractic appointment for the week, and so that's why I'm driving around right now recording. I worked today. I cut I cut 6 properties in the morning. Came back and ate lunch. Then went out to my subdivision and cleaned beds out. Did some bed clean outs and checked out the properties out in that area that I manage. And then I went to the pool, and here I am going to my appointment. So I hope y'all, anybody watching this, found some meaning in it. No pun intended. I might do some more of these videos now that I'm kind of getting slowly back into more of a routine. My son is sleeping through the night better now, so I'm getting a little bit more rest, and I have a little bit more time now, hopefully in the coming weeks, to start doing some more of these videos, you know, whether they're kind of instructional videos or just talking like this, you know. I'm gonna try to start putting some more of that out there. So let's see here. Oh, I shouldn't do this while I'm driving, but I'm doing it anyway. Had to make sure it was still recording. This is the second time I've tried to record this particular video. The first time I somehow pushed the stop button in the middle of it about a minute in, and I was talking for 10 minutes, and 9 minutes of that was just me talking to a blank phone. So had to be sure that wasn't happening here. Here we are. I know. Calm down. Signing off. Now,